Seeing some fish though. There we go. He's not very big. No, he's decent. There you go. I think I offended him when I said he's not very big. Yeah, so much glare, I can't see what it is. That's what I'd say. Yeah, he's decent. He was just swimming towards me, I think, when I hooked him. Yeah, I think it's a cut. Damn. Homeboys won't give up. Oh, dude, I don't know what this is. So it might be a splake. It's all spotted up.
In the back, you have a lot of spots in the back of the tail.
Well, it looks kind of like a Mackinaw actually. But I don't think they have Mackinaw in here. There might be a Brook, Lady Brook. Or is it?
Female Brook.
Oh no, it's got some red spots. It's weird looking. There you go, beautiful fish. Yeah, it looked kind of splake-like.
Yeah, that's a female brookie.
Yeah, it hit right on the paws. Right, exactly. Oh, there you go. Yeah. Oh yeah, that's a good one. Henry's is well known for holding monster fish. Whether it's the Yellowstone cutthroat, the brook trout, or the CuttBow hybrid. And that is exactly why we are here. Oh yeah, it's a nice one. Oh damn. Sweet. As some of you may know, fishing unfamiliar waters can be challenging. But after some searching and a lot of trial and error, we got into a good bite and were consistently getting fish to the net. Little did we know, on this day, Mother Nature had plans of her own.
Slight rain delay.
Blocks the wind out from that side too.
Right. Shut that down. Here it comes. All right, ladies and gents, I want to take a quick break from the action to show you what's going on out there and how I'm getting onto these fish. As always, I'll start with the rod and reel I'm using out there. This here is a 7'6" ultralight spinning rod, and I have it paired with a 1000 series reel. This is a Katana spinning rod. It's a custom rod that's designed for throwing these ultralight baits like mini jigs and ball head minnows. And this is a Shimano Vanquish 1000 SSSP. Really nice setup, very expensive setup, but you don't have to have this really expensive equipment. You can get by with any ultralight spinning rod as long as it's 7'6" in length or 8 foot, and any 500 to 1000 series reel. Now, what's most important when you're trying to throw these ultralight baits like this is your casting distance. And if you got a decent sized rod and an average reel, the most important thing is your line. And what the line I have on here is Sinister Strand premium fiber braid in 4-pound. And then I run that up to a fluorocarbon leader of new Sinister Strand fluorocarbon in 4-pound. So Sinister finally came out with some fluorocarbon and some mono. So now I have the same line throughout my setup. It's a really nice line so far. But if you're new to throwing mini jigs and these ball head minnows, you don't have to start out with the braid. The braid can be a little bit tough to use if you're not used to it. It takes a little bit of know-how, and there's a lot of things you got to watch out for because you can get wind knots very easily and that kind of thing. Even though the braid casts probably the best when you're throwing these light baits. But if you go with a 2 to a 4-pound fluorocarbon or even mono, you can cast some of these, like say the 1/16 ounce mini jigs or ball heads, a little bit easier to cast, and you can at least get a taste for throwing these types of baits and figure out if that's what you really want to do. If you get into it, then you may want to invest and start trying the braid and the fluorocarbon leaders and all that stuff. But in the interim, if you just want to try it, you know, in between bait and weight and drop shotting, throwing some jigs, you can easily get away with 2 to 4 pound fluorocarbon on any spinning reel, as long as it's, you know, 500 to 1000 series reel, and your rod is an ultralight rod, at least 7'6" in length, or up to 8 foot. And you should be able to give it a try and get onto some fish if you can find them. Now, let's go to the bench, and I will show you the baits that are working out there and how I rig them up. All right, guys, these were the baits that were working the best out there, even though I was using a minnow and having the most success, and Esteban was using a jig and having the most success with that. But let's start with the weights, and these first weights are tube jig weights. and they're designed to go inside these mini tube jigs. And the two sizes typically used are the 1/32 and the 1/16. 1/16 is obviously the slightly bigger one, and that's what we were using up there. Now I'll show you the jig that was working well for Esty was the new one called Desert Locust. And it's kind of a very natural looking, got some browns and greens and some black spots to it. Really good mini jig, and it worked really well all the places we went to in Montana. The trout really seemed to like it. It seemed like there was a grasshopper hatch going on at that time, and it looked, we think, kind of like one of the grasshoppers in the water. So could be why they were doing it. Now I'll show you how to rig these up. And typically, I will start with the skirt up, and I will put the eye of the hook inside the skirt first. And you got to be very careful because you can tear these. So you slide it in just kind of like that, and then carefully continue to slide it inside the tube jig without tearing it. And then once you get it to the very top, just rub your thumb over it. And it comes out looking just like that. Now, there's another way to do it. Slide this thing out of here. Is you can put it in hook first from the top. Now, when you go to the top, you don't go to the very top because you want the hole you make to be right where that eye of that hook is going to stick out. So you go near the top on the side and carefully push the hook through the rubber. And then slide it through the tube without repuncturing it. And then you get it like that. And then you want to slide carefully the rubber over the jig head. And it ends up looking just like that. And this way is really cool because you can do what's called speed loading. And you can change your jigs without tearing them while your line's still attached if you do it that way, because the reverse is just hold onto the hook and pull this rubber back very carefully and expose that lead, and then you just slide the lead weight out, and your jig just has a little hole in it, but otherwise it's very intact. So it's that simple. Now with the minnows, we use these ball head weights, and same principle, just a little bit different. So we've got a 1/16 and a 1/32. Same weights as the mini jigs, and a lot simpler of an application. We were using the 1/16 up here. The 1/32 working that just seemed to be a little bit too slow for him, but you'll see later in the video how that 1/16 really started producing. Now I'll show you how I rig up these minnows. As we start, the Spartan minnows have some bumps on the back, but typically if you're using a 2-inch rubber minnow, it's going to be flat, and that's going to represent the back, and then the rounded part's going to represent the belly. So what I like to do is I like to have my hook sticking out of the back or the spine. So I'll start right at the nose of the minnow and carefully slide it on and keep it as straight as possible just towards going around the bend of the hook. And then right when it's at the bend, I'll carefully pop that hook out so it ends up looking just like that. And it's that simple. And same thing for the 1/32 ounce. Exactly the same presentation, and you're all ready to fish. All right, now then, how are we getting onto these fish? First thing I think should be explained is a little bit about Henry's Lake. It's in northern Idaho, so it's right on the border with Montana. It's I believe it's about 4 miles long and 3 or 3.5 miles wide, so it's a really big lake. But the interesting thing about it is a very shallow water lake. I think on average, the deeper parts are about 14 feet for a lake that size. Like in this video, we are fishing in about 6 to sometimes 8 feet of water is all the depth we're fishing at. And the reason why Henry's is such a popular lake is it has really big trout. And the reason for that is the water is shallow enough that there's a lot of plant growth and photosynthesis and those kind of things, which stimulates bug growth, which the smaller minnows will feed on the bugs, and the larger trout will feed on the minnows, and so on and so forth. So there's abundant food sources in the lake. So not only do you have a lot of wild trout in the lake, they do stock that lake, but from my understanding, the fish are stocked every couple of years and as fingerling size, like really small trout. And the rest are wild trout that are born, or even native fish that were born in the river systems and in that lake. So they are very particular as far as what they want to eat. When you're up in that area, up in Montana, northern Idaho area, fly fishing is king up there. So lots of natural presentations, just because the trout are more on the wild or native side. So they're eating the natural forage in the lake. So what we were using was minnows and mini jigs that best looked like what we think would be in the water. The water kind of had a green tinge to it. So I was using a brown trout minnow, and SD was having a lot of success with the desert locust mini jig. And what's happening is the trout seem to be a little bit more aggressive on this day. So we were using 16th, because typically you're going to use a 32nd ounce mini jig or minnow in shallow water, because you can go slow as possible, and usually slower is better, right? Since the trout are a little bit more on the aggressive side, at least on this day, they wanted a little bit faster, and we were using the 16ths and starting to have a little bit more success because they just wanted that little bit of extra speed. Now, as you'll see later in the video, once this storm clears, we go back out and the bite has completely changed. And I started having success really speeding up my presentation and almost burning the minnow back. And I'm gonna hook into something pretty big. Actually a couple times. So it was tough for us to tell, as it's our first time fishing this lake and these waters. We were doing kind of basically what we know from fishing lakes similar to this one, like say Crowley, fishing the flats and that kind of thing. And it seemed to be working out, but the storm came in, as you saw. After we go back out, the bite completely changed, so we had to adjust presentations, and then we started getting back onto them. So those kind of things happen all the time. Always make sure you have a lot of tools in your toolbox, like I like to say. Different presentation styles, different color baits, all those things, because as you're going to see in this video, the trout will change their mind on a dime. Storm comes in, the sun goes up, comes down, whatever it is, temperature change, or they just want to change their mind. They may be onto something different. So just keep that in mind, and you'll do just fine, and you'll be able to get on a lot more fish, especially when the bite's tough. All right, now let's get back to the video and see if we survived that storm and how the rest of the trip went. Yep. Yeah.
All right. Got that shit out of the way. Now we're good.
Yeah.
Got the light, sun.
Maybe the fish will be even more fired up now.
Right.
Following the storm, the bite seemed to completely shut down. So I decided to try a 1/16 ounce ball head with a 2-inch minnow and a much faster retrieve. Maybe it's a speed thing. Oh, I think I got bit. Yep. Oh, it's a good one. Went to a 16th minnow. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, I was going a little faster. That's funny. I think I got bit. Okay, he's heading right for your boat. Oh, he's under you. See the leader. I can almost see him. Yeah, I don't know. Using ultralight spinning gear and 4-pound line can be a gamble when fighting a monster trout. The slightest mistake and your trophy will become nothing more than a fish story. Yeah, he's just holding. I can barely see him. There he comes. Yeah, he's pretty good size. Let me just see what you are. Looks kind of like a lahat. I think it's a big cutty. Yeah, it kind of has those red cheeks. That's what it looked like. It was yeah, he's big. Yeah. Might be a big CuttBow. Yeah, I think it's a CuttBow. Or no, it's a cutty. Oh, no, it might be a CuttBow. Oh my God. Yeah. Oh. There, I got him. Oh my God, that thing's big. Yeah. Oh my God. Ugh. Down. On that locust? Yeah, good little brook. That's the other thing too, using a 16th in 6 feet of water. With weeds. Oh, I think he broke me off. That was a big fish, dude. Yeah, he broke me off. Oh, that was a big fish. Just went thud. Nah. He got it down by the clip, so I don't have to retie. Let me check my leader too. Leader's good. Yeah. Yeah, I didn't think to check it because when I got the fish in, the thing was right in the corner of his mouth, so I was like, okay, he didn't chew up the line, but he might have. There we go. Friggin' got me. That's another brook. There you go. Good looking one. All right, ladies and gents, there you have it. Epic trip up there. First time up to Idaho and Montana area. Lot more videos to come of that. This one we kind of made into a movie. I'll post a link right up here if you can see a lot of the footage of the different lakes we went to and streams and rivers that we hit. But I thought I would make some individual videos out of some of this stuff because there's a few of these lakes like Henry's where there's some good teachable moments as far as fishing shallow water, bites changing, whether or not wild or native trout will hit mini jigs and minnows or if they'll only hit flies and night crawlers kind of thing. Which obviously they will, but and just their trout behavior, as it were, and fishing for wild trout versus stock trout. To me, it really depends on the water they're in. You know, like they're going to adapt to the water system they're in. It's not so much that a wild trout is necessarily smarter than a stock trout. But if they're both in clear water, real slow current, you're going to have to sneak up on either of them to get them to even look at what you're presenting to them. So to me, there's not a whole lot of difference. And you put a stocked rainbow into a stream out in Montana, he's going to convert to whatever the food source is there very quickly. And if you put a wild or native trout into Santa Ana River lakes, they're eventually going to eat some power bait. So trout is basically how I look at it. So it's interesting to hear the debates and all that, but to me it's It's all just fishing and all just fun and getting outside and being with friends, family, and the great outdoors. So hope you guys get out there soon. With that, if you want any of the fine products I use on this channel, there's a QR code right up here. If you want the Golden State Fishing custom baits, the Katana rods, the Waterland sunglasses, the True Dave waders, or the High Sea waders, just click on this QR code. It will take you to a link tree, which has the hyperlinks to all these sites, and it has all the information on discount codes. And there's discounts of up to 15% off on some of the products. Additionally, in this video's description, I have all the hyperlinks listed and all the information on discount codes if you choose to purchase something. So go check them out. They're great products, or I wouldn't use them. As always, if you have any questions or comments, please leave them here. If you liked what you saw here, give us an old like and subscribe. It really helps out the channel. If you didn't, I appreciate you hanging on this long and watching to the end. And coming up this weekend is the Pacific Coast Sport Fishing Show, I guess is how I say it. I always say PCS out at Costa Mesa. Really nice show. Esteban and I are going to be out at the Fisherman's Access booth. We'll have all the Golden State Fishing custom baits and katanas will be out there, and the Sinister Strand and all those things. And if you guys want, just come by and say hi. We love meeting all you guys. We'll be out there Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So definitely stop by and give us a shout, and we'd love to see you. And then after the show, I am heading back up to the mid. So really excited about that. I kind of took February off and haven't been up there in a few weeks. So really excited to get back up there and get on them monster Lahatans, God willing, of course. So we'll see how that goes. And if you guys are in the area up there and you see me, come by and say hi. Look forward to seeing you, and hope to see you guys out there in the tight lines.